I think the history of a brand or of a person is something that always stays with you. As you move forward, you need to recognize who you were before in order to figure out where you're going and what you're doing. G'day, I'm Tom Gilroy, an Australian custom motorcycle designer and builder. The name Delta represents our shop. It represents the change that we've created in this motorcycle, and it represents the experience that we wanted to create with that bike. We don't build motorcycles to be put on a shelf or to be put in a showroom. We build them to be enjoyed. This bike being part of our signature series, our first build for Royal Enfield and any manufacturer, we wanted to make sure that we would put our badge on it and that it would wear Purpose Built Moto everywhere it went, and we would want to be proud of that. Like all of our builds, the design direction generally comes from our relationship with the customer. A lot of our builds, when we are developing our ideas for the project, I rely heavily on the feedback and the energy that I get from our clients. We have conversations about the motorcycles they love, the riding that they like to do, all of that sort of stuff. Royal Enfield had been watching our style and they liked what we were doing, but we wanted to do something that we hadn't done before, really push ourselves in terms of fabrication and design. Having the freedom to do that was something that I really enjoyed, and being given open slather to take this motorcycle and see what we could create with it, we just wanted to swing for the fence. We were relying on the history and the brand image as a whole that Royal Enfield puts across. It was a process of looking back in the back catalogue through some of my favourite historical Royal Enfield motorcycles, finding bits and pieces that I liked there, things that they've sort of drawn from in the past, the Super Meteor being a heritage model from the 50s. Creating a girder front end is something, again, that was directly inspired by the Flying Flea. When those models first came out, they had this really beautiful front end, and I wanted to take that, add my own touch to it, and apply it to our new Super Meteor build. There are many different strands and directions that you can take with a custom motorcycle. For this particular Super Meteor, I wanted to go down the classic bobber design DNA that we've been developing. I've done a few projects like that before, and given the opportunity and creative freedom, we could really sort of test ourselves, try new ideas that I'd had lurking in the background, and sort of push that design direction forward. The reason that I really love this style is because we can go a little bit crazier and make things beautiful just for the sake of making them be beautiful. The key points that we wanted to focus on for the Super Meteor project were stripping away all of the unnecessary. As custom builders, we're not bound by any of the rules and regulations that manufacturers have to abide by. So we write our own rules when it comes to creating these motorcycles. That comes through in the way that we machine and fabricate our fender brackets and the Girder Fork, everything right down to, swing arm braces, things that you would usually just fabricate to have a function can be styled up and made into details. And then when you put these details together, they need to give you a very definitive message, and they should be cohesive across the start to the finish of that motorcycle. And then when you ride the bike, you should feel that experience that we've worked to create. We aim at creating a visceral ride experience for our riders. We want them to feel the motorcycle and be engaging with it. My hope is that anyone who rides this motorcycle will instantly understand what we were trying to do. The name Delta represents our shop. It represents the change that we've created in this motorcycle, and it represents the experience that we wanted to create with that bike. The driver of our Super Meteor build and everything that we do is we really want to put our best foot forward and always be evolving. Something that I place immense weight on is our evolution and progress. I never want our newest bike to be the same as the previous one. Everything that we build, I strive to make just that little bit better, whether it be a different design direction, better fabrication, more creative ideas, the way that we style our machines. I always am looking for areas that we can level up and that I can improve on, because that at our core is where we've come from and it's what we do. The true test is when you really point that thing down a straight road and wind the throttle open and see how fast you can go on it. Taking it out for that afternoon and really putting the bike through its paces, that was something really special, more so than most of our other projects, because we just put our everything into this. Anyone in the shop here, we put our heart and soul into this for the last 8 months, and I think it really shows. I'm super proud of what we've created. One of the big takeaways from our Super Meteor build was the evolution of this design style that I really like. The big wheel, skinny, sort of vintage bobber style. I've built a personal bike like that. It's not something that we do often inside the shop, but having the freedom to do that has really motivated us to push forward, go further, try new things. We didn't have anyone to say, oh, hey, I don't really like this, or you should slow down here. It was, here's a motorcycle, call us when you're done, do whatever you want to it.